Thank you, Rekha, and good morning, everyone. And let me join Rekha in welcoming all of you to the 30th edition of the NASCOM Tech and Leadership Forum. As Rekha mentioned, we just launched the NASCOM Strategic Review yesterday, and what a fabulous year it has been for the tech industry and for India. My congratulations to each and every one of you. In just 12 months, you have added 30 billion in revenue and created 4.5 lakh additional jobs. This is a new record. This is something that the industry has never seen before. We are today a 227 billion industry. And to just put things in perspective, it took the industry nearly 30 years to add the first 100 billion. And it has taken us less than 10 years to add the latest 100 billion. And given the opportunities we see, given the kind of energy that we are seeing in the industry, I feel pretty confident that we stand a real chance to add the next 150 billion in the next 5 years, taking our industry to the 350 billion mark. As NASCOM, that's job one. How do we work with you? How do we work with the government to enable the roadmap for accelerated growth and accelerated impact, not just in India, but across the world of the tech industry in India? The focus is on three things. First, transformation. How do we work with you and with government to enable the transformation of the industry in India to continue with focus on trust, with focus on talent, with focus on innovation, inclusion, sustainability? How do we create the new value proposition for India that is much more than just cost and talent, which continues to be a core strength, but now we have to also talk about our innovation quotient. We have to talk about how inclusive our industry is. We have to talk about how increasingly sustainable our industry is becoming. And as NASCOM, job one is not just to help create the value proposition, but also tell the story loud and proud to the entire world. Second, how do we work with you to not just maximize the innovation quotient in India, but how do we maximize the impact of innovation in India? How do we build the capability that is needed by the industry to drive innovation? How do we bridge the gap that we have today between demand and supply in talent? How do we work with government to ensure an enabling regulatory framework that will allow us or enable us to innovate with emerging technologies and create the maximum impact? I think there's lots to be done in this space, but we are very clear that innovation alone is not going to cut it. We have to innovate and we have to ensure innovation results in impact. And last but not the least, the third priority for us is to ensure that we stay ahead in the game in terms of figuring out what's next for India. What are the new technologies out there that will have a huge impact on India in terms of improving livelihood and improving lives? And what do we have to do as the industry, as NASCOM, to create the right regulatory framework, to create the right capabilities so that India can leverage these emerging technologies to the fullest? I feel tremendously privileged to be in this industry and to be in NASCOM, to work with this wonderful team that we have in NASCOM at this moment in time, when we are poised to make such a huge difference to the world. This is indeed India's decade. We have to make sure that it becomes India's decade. As NASCOM, our dream is to ensure that this decade is not just known as our decade because of the increasing role of technology in our lives, or the growth of the tech industry in India. All of that must happen, but we have to ensure that this becomes known as India's decade because of the impact of technology in our lives, because of the role that the tech industry in India plays in ensuring that technology becomes truly human centric. There is just so much to do, so much to look forward to. And I can't wait to work with you, to work with the government, um, to make the magic happen. So I'm really, really looking forward to the next 12 months till we meet again, and hopefully in person for NTLF 31st edition.